Alright, a free-to-play Smash Bros. Inspired platform fighter with an Overwatch-esque inspired art style. Let's talk about this. Alright, so this is Icon's Combat Arena. This is a free-to-play title that launched on Steam a few days ago, and you can tell it's very much inspired by a mixture of Overwatch and Super Smash Bros. Now, the day it launched, I downloaded this game, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to give this game a shot and see how well it plays and see if I like it or not, and I just figured I'd give you guys my thoughts on this game so far. Now, when I downloaded this game, it had been up on the marketplace for, I'd say, probably around 12 hours or so. And whenever I downloaded it, it had mixed reviews. Now, a lot of times when games are in early access or they just come out, especially when they are very, very inspired by other games, you'll get a lot of negative reviews, especially from people saying, oh, this is just, you know, it's not Smash Brothers or it's not Overwatch, it's a rip-off, whatever. So I don't usually pay attention to those, but I decided to go through the reviews and look before I downloaded the game. Now, the top review, the one listed as the most helpful, was somebody that was comparing it a lot to Smash Brothers and Project M and Brawlhalla, and they play a lot of these games competitively, and I didn't really want to take too much of what they said in that to heart as far as, you know, it being a competitive game, because like I've said multiple times, I think games need to be fun first, competitive second. So I downloaded this game thinking, well, maybe it's not good for competitive just yet, but maybe it'll still be fun to play, maybe it'll still be a good time. So boy, was I wrong. So yeah, initially whenever I jumped in, I just went ahead and clicked Quick Match. I'd never played this game before, but I'd played Brawlhalla, Project M, and Smash Brothers, and I wouldn't say I'm very good competitive at all, but me and Nathan and all my other friends and my wife, and my kids, we all play Smash Brothers from time to time and have a good time. So my goal into going into this game and playing it was, well, as long as it's fun, you know, I'll pretty much give it a good review as long as it's fun and it's focusing on being fun first. But this game is not fun. The controls are bad. The controls are really, really, really clunky, unresponsive. In fact, after playing 2 matches, I actually went into the key bindings and realized they didn't even bind one of your abilities. Like, you have a strike attack, and when I went into the options, it wasn't bound to anything. Like, by default, not on the keyboard, not on the controller, it was just not bound. So I'd actually bind a key that was a default control in the game. It was an attack that you actually have the ability to use. So I was going through 2 matches without even using one of my abilities because it just wasn't bound to anything. And that to me was like, okay, so you guys make a game and by default you don't even bind one of the abilities in the game. That's just, to me, like, how do you do that? How do you put something in the game and not bind it to anything? So that was a big red flag for me at first. The controls are really clunky. They're kind of unresponsive. It didn't play very smooth at all. Now, I know Brawlhalla gets a lot of hate, especially for its really grindy free-to-play model, and it trying to be, you know, up there with Smash Brothers. But I actually get into Brawlhalla and have fun playing it, even though, yeah, grinding out heroes, unless you buy the Founders Pack, takes a while. When it comes to gameplay, I still have fun playing it. And it's a 2D or 2.5D art style. Now, with this being a 3D game, this feels very, very, very flat, and I don't really know how to explain that other than it doesn't feel like these characters are 3D. It doesn't feel like they're moving around in a 3D environment, even though it is a platformer. The controls feel very stiff, very clunky. There's not, I don't know how to explain, it just does not feel good. It doesn't feel fluid whatsoever. The jumps feel like they're delayed. Sometimes you'll hit one button and it'll do something completely different. And it's not a fun time. It is not a good game. Now, right now, I think there's only 8 heroes or 7 heroes in the game total. Now, when you level up, you get very much like Overwatch. You get crates that you can open up and get sprays and, you know, skins for your characters. But I mean, it's such a tedious task to level up because the game's not enjoyable. And, you know, I can let that slip if it was at least somewhat good in a competitive stance, and I could tell they were going for a competitive style game. But with this game, it's not competitive. It's not good for a competitive scene. There's been a lot of pro players for games like Smash Brothers and stuff comment on this and say how bad it is competitively. So, you know, when I went into it, I was like, okay, well, they're already saying it's not going to be good competitive, and I can tell that very much so from playing it. It's not going to be good in a competitive scene, but it's not good in a fun scene. It's not fun at all. I had no enjoyment playing this whatsoever, even in matches that I won. It wasn't enjoyable, and most of the time I was winning by luck because the controls are so clunky. Half the time your opponents are losing or you're losing, not because who's more skilled, but you can like fall off the edge, and the delay in the jump is so bad that it's just, there is no recovering from it. It's just a very, very poorly done game, and not to mention that, but optimization. I went through my task manager because I noticed how bad this game was running. This game was using 4 gigs of RAM. And only using like 9% of my GPU's memory. It did not use any GPU memory, like hardly at all. It didn't hardly use my video card whatsoever. It was all running off my RAM, which to me was mind-blowing that it was using 4 gigs of RAM to run a game that looks like this. It doesn't look anything special. It doesn't look like the greatest game ever. I mean, I think Smash Brothers on the Wii had better graphics than this game does, and it's using 4 gigs of my memory in my computer and basically using none of my GPU. It is very horribly optimized. It's clunky. It doesn't run very well. After about 2-3 matches while recording, it actually started giving me like lower than 30 frames per second. And this is a computer that I use to run VR games, so for it to run this game at under 30 frames per second was just mind-blowing to me. But so this was a quick review I thought I'd do on this game. It's terrible. It's not fun at all, and I hate doing that. I hate saying that about games that are in early access, but the way things have been lately, when you launch your game publicly, whether it be early access or not, that is you're coming out to the world and your first impression. And hopefully maybe they can fix this game and get it to where it's actually, worth anything, but right now I just don't see it happening. I don't see this game being able to pull through and come back on top because it's not fun, and I don't see it being able to hold enough players. I mean, right now it takes me about 5 minutes to get into a match as it is anyway. So I don't see them being able to pull this game out from the mud. If you see this game in the marketplace, I mean, it's free to play. You can download it and try it, but I'm just going to try to save you guys some time. If you're looking to have fun and you're wanting to play a game like this, I'd recommend playing something else like Brawlhalla or Smash Brothers, because this game is it's not really worth the time it takes to download. It only takes like 10 minutes to download, but it's still, even that 10 minutes really isn't worth it. So that's all the time I got for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick review, and I will see you guys tomorrow because I'm posting a review on Earthfall. So I'll see you guys next time.